Hello, welcome to Vlogmas day 9? I want to say 9. Let's go with 9. Hello, how are you doing? I'm full of beans this morning. I have been out for a decent length walk, which is always good. I finished the Bible, but I put on a album that I really like, which is Seeds Family Worship, which is basically scripture put to music in a nice way, and it's their Christmas album, and it just really cheered me up. God is with us. As Christians, we believe that Jesus is God incarnate, i.e. God with skin on. He came to be with us, ultimate power, in itty bitty living space, i.e. in a little tiny fragile baby boy. Like, what? That is insane, but great news! Also, I've been doing this, ta-da! I put the expeller back on because expeller? That's an old word my mother used to use. I put the dehumidifier on. But this has been my setup this morning. I have been recording for the Keswick Convention podcast again, which is, I usually get a little bit kind of before, because you can never quite know how things are going to land and you want to be able to capture good conversation, ask the right questions, really listen to the answers and do the best. But you often feel, well, I feel like I go in relatively blind. Not that, I don't know, there's only so much research you can do when someone's passed you on a person and you're trying to work out where to steer it. And I have steering questions and I have my own things that I've nosed about, so I was able to do some notes from the website and dig out stuff that I wanted to ask that I felt would be interesting. But then again, they all cover some of this stuff, and it's kind of working out how much do I push on that question? I feel like you already answered that question in that question and answer. Should I ask it again to be more clear? Anyway, so there's just a lot of that kind of going on. But Ruth was a joy. She was an absolute joy. She is from the Faraday Institute, so all about Christians engaging in science, and it's really easy to see like science over here and Jesus over here, and there not being any connection in traditional views. And basically she was saying, guys, look, you've got the kettle boiling for your science explanation, and you've got the reason, the why, the purpose, somebody wants a cup of tea. That kind of stuff was just really good to think about, particularly going back to my roots as a physiology graduate. Basically, I need to just deal with being thought of as somebody who looks at bones and joints and muscle damage and being able to be useful, because people thought that I was useful, and all I know is about the science of it. And basically I did a neuroscience degree with one module different, which sounds way cooler, and I just need to be okay with not being that cool. But I really struggled with that degree. And here I am on YouTube. But was really, really, really excited to hear what Ruth had to say. I need to not do that with one hand, sorry, it's a memento. Ruth was sharing some of the things she was really excited about, and it was just a joy to get excited about the wonder that is in creation, whether that be the stars or whether that be the human body, and kind of the ethics behind some of the CRISPR technology, thinking about gene insertion and designer babies. Basically Gattaca, the film, alive. If you haven't seen Gattaca, I give it a really high recommendation. I think it is on live TV at the moment in the UK, which I'd heard it recommended by a science teacher like years ago, and then a good friend, James, recommended it and was like, okay, should probably give it some space. And it was amazing. It was really, really good. Even for me, who is extremely sensitive and basically can't watch anything other than a Disney film these days without having a crisis. So, there we go, thank you. Would recommend Gattaca if you're interested in something a little bit sciencey and a little bit, let's have a think about this thing. There's probably some proper scientists out there being like, Gattaca is not going to be ever possible because of these reasons. I'm so sorry if I gave you the wrong accent and that's not how you sound. But also, for me, at a very pop culture level, I thought it was great. So yes, thinking about ethics, thinking about how our faith and what we study and what we do with our lives and how we have purpose and choices and decisions and make our judgments on what's right and wrong in the world was just a really fascinating morning to begin with. So that has basically taken the whole morning. John amazingly set up my stuff. I feel such a privileged wife. He was so kind and set up basically this whole thing this morning. So I am just going to put it down and edit stuff this afternoon and prepare for tomorrow, which is recording day for the audiobook. So I have that this afternoon So yeah, it's a really busy day. It was supposed to be a half day because John has to take a half day because of his work, because otherwise he's overworking and he needs to take it ASAP. So it can't be a half day. So I need to work on and get all of this stuff sorted. But privileged to have work. It's really good to have work. So that's grand, isn't it? Anyway, I've done enough chat. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. It's a bit insane, but we'll work out what it is when we get there. Right, I'm gonna finish packing down and make some lunch. Good early evening to you. I am how far through? I thought I was halfway through. I am a quarter of the way through a podcast edit, and I have just had, well, good and bad news in that I have had a pitch that I have been involved with be rejected, sort of. So it's just good to have clarity in these things, and I feel I'm able to speak freely because I have so many fingers and so many pies at the moment. That's just a thing. So again, it's sad when you put a lot of work into something, but that's also part of being freelance, and I just wanted to highlight, often you can only just see, and there would be no reason for me to make this video other than I'm doing a what happens today video to be like, I just got bad news, in the sense of all the work and effort and energy is nothing. But that's also the creative life. So it's like just honest, and it's not out of the ordinary in the sense of you pitch, you try, you just gotta decide if it's not gonna work out, etc. for whatever reasons, or budget, or vision, or there's a million different ways and means of things. There's always creative change, but it's also why it's so hard as a freelancer to juggle all of this, because I've been really busy recently, and can you see, if all of my work just kind of dries up, then suddenly I have no work. But at the same time, trying to find enough work that means that you're not too busy and you can give attention and detail and care and not overwork to each of the projects, to create products for people. It's always a difficult balance. It's a privilege to have work that is of an enjoyable nature, but it is by nature flighty. So it's easy to either see the terribleness of freelance in that you have no security at all, which you do generally have. You have ongoing bits and pieces generally. You'll have a few key clients, and generally there'll be relationship and it'll be good, and people won't either way take advantage, and it'll be all good and fine. But the other side is that, stuff doesn't work out a lot. And that's the arts, I suppose. But yeah, maybe it isn't talked about. Maybe it is. I don't know. I thought I'd mention it.